Okay, so how to look at property tables. So we'll some topics will just be repeating. So Gibbs phase rule we have anyway covered. So we need that background. So we'll slightly repeat those slides, and then we'll take some examples and look at how to find out property for saturated, superheated, or saturated liquid, saturated vapor, and we'll also see how to do interpolation. Okay, table means you have some range of values, but if you want some temperature in between that, how do you interpolate? And I will show you some examples how to do that. So Gibbs phase rule, I hope everyone is now very familiar with this. So what it tells that if you have boiling water, it means you have two phase, then you need only one property to fix the system. If you have water vapor or superheated water vapor, then two properties are required, right? This is directly coming from this Gibbs phase rule, this equation. So let us look at the TV and PV plots. So this is your liquid and vapor phases and all that. So let us say I have boiling water at 1 atmosphere, right? So as soon as I say 1 atmosphere, you are pretty much sure that it is boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, right? Or I can say that, okay, isobaric process. This we have anyway discussed, so no point is repeating here. Now let us say we have a PV plot and I have a constant. I say that water is boiling at 100 degrees Celsius, so you can quickly fix that. Okay, if it is at 100 degrees Celsius, it has to be at 1 atmosphere. Okay. So for this is isobaric process, right? So for isobaric process, PV plot shows constant. So you see the temperature becomes constant if your pressure is fixed. Now if your temperature is fixed, then this pressure becomes constant. Inside the vapor dome, I'm just referring to this again. Inside this vapor dome, pressure and temperature both are fixed, right? So both pressure and temperature remain constant till all liquid is converted to vapor. So till this fluid is under this vapor dome, both pressure and temperature remain constant, right? Is this clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Is this line clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you go to superheated region or you go to subcooled region, so you cannot maintain both pressure and temperature constant. Okay. So if you are, let us say, if you are following an isotherm, if pressure is above 1 atmosphere, then you see that you look at this yellow line, yellow curve. So your temperature is changing continuously. Similarly for here, if I maintain pressure constant, this is isobar. So if we go to subcooled region, this blue line basically, then you see that temperature is changing continuously. Similarly here, if I this is an isotherm. So if I maintain the temperature to be 100 degrees Celsius, if I go to superheated region, then pressure starts decreasing, right? Pressure decreasing, volume is increasing. Or if I go to subcooled region, then pressure is increasing. So pressure will be higher, the boiling point will be higher if you go to higher pressure. For example, in your pressure cooker, what we have seen. Okay, so the bottom line is that for maintaining both pressure and temperature constant, we have to be under the vapor dome. For a single phase, it will not happen. Okay, or I can we can look this more clearly in the PT plot. So I can say that once you fix pressure, once I say that at 1 atmosphere, I want to look into liquid and vapor interface or liquid and vapor equilibrium, then the temperature is definitely 100 degrees Celsius. So for property table, or let us summarize first. So for liquid plus vapor mixture, to fix the state means to minimum number of variables that can fix that state or to fix that uniquely. So for example, when I say boiling water at 100 degrees Celsius, so there is no ambiguity there. Boiling water is at 100 degrees Celsius at 1 atmosphere. So only one property is required. I can either tell you that water is boiling at 1 atmosphere or 100 degrees Celsius. with that one property, you know the state is fixed, right? Now for saturated liquid or saturated vapor. So when you're lying on the saturation line, okay, basically this. So if your liquid is lying on this line or vapor is lying on this line, again I will need one property only. Okay, only one property is required. Now the challenge is when it goes to subcooled region or superheated region, then I need at least the two properties to fix the system. Otherwise, one property is good enough. So this will form the basis of our property tables. Okay. So let us first start with property of saturated liquid or saturated vapor. So as I mentioned, this is a example which you have already seen. So I know that for a saturated vapor, I know that for 120 degrees Celsius, it will be at this much pressure. And if I know the pressure, it will be at this much temperature. So for boiling water equilibrium, one property is required. And that one property could be, it is not necessary that only pressure or temperature. If you know the volume also, that is also fixed. So we can have either pressure, temperature, volume, entropy, internal energy, enthalpy, etc. Any one property, if you know, then the state of the system is fixed. Okay, you don't need to know more properties. This one only is sufficient. Okay, but the property tables that we have, what we commonly use, they are based on either pressure or temperature. So these are the most commonly used or easily available properties. So we have property tables based on this. Okay, so let me show you how you have. So this is a table for saturated water, and I will be using tables from this book, Chengen and Bowles. Okay, so but this same table you can find in any book, whichever you have, and the appendix. All the books have all the standard textbooks have property tables in the appendix. Okay, so you can look forward. Okay, now in this book, how it is given. So let us say this is your basic first column is on pressure. So the properties are arranged as per the pressure. So 1 kilopascal, 2 kilopascal, and like that. And the second column is for saturated temperature. So we're talking about saturated water, and at what temperature it gets saturated. Then what is the VF? VF refers to liquid and VG refers to vapor. Okay, so these two are specific volumes, and unit is also very important, meter cube plus per kilogram. Then we have internal energy. UF is for liquid, UG is for vapor, and UFG. Okay, this is the difference between this. UFG is equal to UF minus UG. Sorry, UG minus UF. Okay, if you can check it, you can use this value, subtract this, you will get this. For all any row, you can take the UG, subtract UF from this, you will get this. This is how it is defined, UFG. Okay. Similarly, for enthalpy and entropy, so we have HF, HG. HF is for liquid, for vapor, and the difference between them. This is the evaporation enthalpy. Then we have SF for liquid, SG for vapor, and SFG for, which is the difference between these two. Okay. Now let us come back to boiling water. So for boiling water, I know the atmospheric pressure is, this is the atmospheric pressure at mean sea level, 101.325 kilopascal. Now for that we see that the saturation temperature is 99.97. So when we have water boiling at atmospheric, it is not exactly at 100, it is at 99.97, but 100 is a good approximation, right? Now let us see another. So this one was arranged as per pressure. Now there is another table which is arranged as per temperature. So see at different temperature values, what is the value for other properties. Okay, now if I want water to boil exactly at 100, then this has to be the pressure. Okay, this is the atmospheric pressure where water will boil at 100 degrees Celsius. And for that boiling water, this is how I look at the different properties. So suppose you are given an example. So you want to find what is the saturated liquid U. This is the saturated liquid U. If you want to find entropy, this is the saturated liquid entropy. So you have to look at first what is the temperature or pressure value you're looking at, and correspondingly you will look at different property values. Okay. So let us take example of this. So for 100, this is a part of the table. Now let us say 100 degrees Celsius. I know that liquid volume Vg is this, Vf is this, Vg is this, and this is the given temperature and pressure. Okay, so I know what is the volume here. I know what is the volume here. But suppose I want to know, let us say I have a mixture, okay, with quality of 0.8, right? So what is the, how I can define the volume for this? Any idea? Or how I can find the volume using these tables or these values?
So VF
Yes,
plus X times VFG.
yeah. So basically we'll use weighted average. Okay, weighted average of liquid and vapor properties. So I can say V at 0.8 is zero point 0.2 of Vf plus 0.8 of Vg, or I can use Vg also. So this is the table we had. So if I substitute these values, 0.2 of Vf, Vf is this much, this is what is written here, then 0.8 of Vg, 0.8 of Vg. So if you calculate, you get this. So this is the specific volume for liquid vapor mixture at 0.8 quality or dryness fraction. Now let us say I want to find internal energy of liquid at 100 degrees Celsius, saturated vapor at 100 degrees Celsius, or for that 80% component. So this is the internal energy for liquid, this is for vapor. So similarly, in the same fashion, we'll take weighted average for all the properties. So for liquid, we have this, or I can write in this way. I can write either 1 minus x into x, or I can write this in terms of Fg. Okay, so this we have already discussed in pure substance lecture. So whatever you use, the idea is that you will get the same values. Okay, whether I use this equation or I use any of this is what I am supposed to get if I am looking at this table. Okay, so don't think that if you use different formula, you will get different values. You should get exactly the same values up to the correct whatever decimal places you are calculating. Okay, now this was easy that I wanted at 100 degrees Celsius. I have property at 100 and I got it. Now if I suppose wanted some different temperature, okay, so that will be the weighted average of properties at higher and lower temperatures. So let us say the table gives property for 95 and 100. If I require property for 98 degrees Celsius, then I will take weighted average between whatever is the upper and lower limit. So 98, the next highest is 100, next lower is 95. So we'll take the weighted average of that. Now let us go to superheated vapor region. So for superheated, we need two properties now, right? Either pressure or temperature or any other two properties. So this is how you will have tables in for super. So what is there is that for different pressure. So for pressure 0.01 megapascal, this is the temperature column. For different pressure, this is the same temperature column is used. So there are different boxes for different pressure level, and the values are arranged according to this temperature properties, temperature values. Okay, so we are using both. We know, for example, if I take this value, I know that temperature is this and pressure is this. Okay. Now there is no VFG or something because this is only one phase which is superheated. So let us take one example. So this is how, for example, like 0.2 megapascal if you want, you will get these properties. Okay, so just showing you a closer look. Now let us take some examples and then I will quickly wind this up. So let us now come to your examples which will be used for refrigeration system. So this is a very common refrigerant, okay, R134A. So let us say I have saturated vapor at 30 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now let's say that the specific, so this is the initial conditions. Now let's say that the specific volume is doubled at constant temperature. So temperature is remaining constant here, but volume gets doubled. And we have to find the initial and final specific volumes and what is the pressure that is there. Okay, we can also look at other properties, but just to keep it simple, let us try to find out this. So if this is given, what I will do is I will first open, given is saturated vapor. So I will open saturated table for 134A. Okay, and I know the temperature, so I'll open from temperature which is arranged according to temperature. 30 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius. Now I need to find pressure. I get the pressure at 770.64 kilopascal. This is the saturated pressure. Now let us say I want to find the volume. So for saturated vapor, volume is Vg is for saturated vapor. This is the volume, right? Now the question says that the volume is doubled at constant temperature. So V1 is this, V1 is this. Now V2 is double of V1, which means if you multiply it will get V2 is this much. Okay. Now what I need to do is I need to do the reverse process. I need to find volume is given. I need to find what is the pressure for that. Okay. So you can look at this plot. So for V2 we have this is the volume and this is the temperature. If we are following, as I mentioned, that we are following a constant temperature line, isotherm. If in a PV plot, if you follow a constant temperature plot, and this is where we started. Okay, we have started with saturated vapor. So if I double the volume, what it will become? It will become, it will go this side or that side. It will become, what will be the final state? So this green dot is where I am starting with. This is the initial condition. And I double the volume. So what is the final state of that mixture? It is superheated. Yes, so it will go in this direction. It will be somewhere here. The volume will be doubled. So that is very important. You need to find out which table you want to look. So there are different tables for superheated fluid and there are different tables for saturated fluid. Okay. So this was for, you see, this is for saturated. Now we'll go to superheated. This is for superheated refrigerant 134A. Okay. Now these are given for different pressures. Okay. What I will do is I have I know this is the volume. I know there is a specific volume of superheated fluid to be 0.05. This is what is known. So I will try to find out if that volume is available at temperature is given. So 30 degrees Celsius, 0.4. What I am looking for is 0.053. So this is not the right place. Then 0.24, 0.1. This is not right. So let me come down. So let us say that at 30 degrees Celsius, 0.08, 0.07, 0.05. So this is somewhat near. So let us find. So by looking into that table, this is what I have, and this is one more, the next entry which was not shown in the last slide. So for what I see is, this is the value that I am looking for, right? So if I don't get this value, I will try to find the next little bit higher from this, next up and next down. So 0.053 is the required, 0.056. This is higher than this, and this is lower than this, 0.044. Okay, 0.4 megapascal and 0.5 megapascal. So I don't have anything in between. So this is the two limits. Now I have to interpolate between these two to find we at this. Okay, so P2 has to be between 0.4. What I am looking for, I am trying to find out what is the pressure. I know the temperature, I know the volume. So for 30 degrees Celsius, this is my volume for different pressures. So now I know for sure that P2 is between 0.4 and 0.5. Is this clear to everyone? How I am making this statement? Please, if you don't,
Yes, sir.
yes.
Yes, sir.
If anyone has any doubt, please ask. No, otherwise you will face difficulty in solving numericals. Please ask if anyone has any difficulty. No? Okay. So by this, I can conclude that P2 is between these two. This is the range where P2 can lie. Lower than this, higher than this, lower than this. So what I can do is I can interpolate. So if you take a PV plot, I know that for this point, 0.5 megapascal, this is the volume. So this volume is coming from here, 0.044 and 0.056. So 0.044 at 0.5 megapascal, 0.056 at 0.4, right? So these are the 2 points I have. Let me draw a straight line connecting 2 points. Okay, so from coordinate geometry, you know x and y coordinates for 2 points. You can define the equation for this line, right? Y is equal to mx plus c. Now I want to know what is the pressure for this particular volume. Okay, so can I find it by interpolating? I find the equation for this line, and from that I can approximately find what is the pressure, right? If you know the equation for this line, if you in that equation you substitute the value of x. So let us say I have y is equal to mx. This is one value for x. For this, can I get corresponding value of y? Let me write it down. So let us say I have y is equal to mx plus c. Okay, this I have used 2 points, you know, x and y coordinates. You can find out what is m and what is c, right? Now, if I substitute this value of, this is let us say your x and this is your y. So can I find out this y for a given x using this equation? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is how you need to interpret. So I think if you do that, then this is the pressure that you will get. So you can try this example, you can see whether you are getting the same value or not. So let us take another example. Let us say that we have a Rankine cycle. Yes.
In the last slide, we are given
Yes.
that it is a superheated vapor
Yes.
with the 30 degree centigrade temperature, the constant temperature.
Yes.
So can't we do PV equal to constant?
PV is equal to
Constant.
see the mostly phase
So
is
that
also
would give exact value for that.
PV is equal to, okay, what is the question? PV is equal to,
Constant. So the isothermal condition.
okay, PV is equal to RT. But what is the, then you need to know what is the R for this.
No, sir. We can compare these two with the question we have been asked.
Oh yes, that's a good idea. That can be tried. I have not tried that. See, it is a very simple example. You will not get something very simple as this. So I'm just trying to tell you how to look at the tables. But PV is equal to RT might also work. I will check this and get back to you.
Okay, sir.
Basically, you can try it here. If anyone has calculator, you can multiply this with this and see. Yes, this is in a superheated, and if you are following an isotherm, that should also work. Let me get a calculator. Let me try this something.
Sir,
See,
PV is equal to
that should come theoretically, right?
Yes, sir.
सर पीवी इक्वल टू अगर ये के लगाएंगे तो सर वो तो फॉलो नहीं करेगा ना सर वाई इक्वल टू फिर एमएक्स के लिए सर क्योंकि सर वो पी इज डायरेक्टली पर्सनल टू सर वो हो जाएगा फिर 1/v तो सर वो कैसे फॉलो करेगा इसमें सर ये तो कार्ड
Basically,
लाइक से बनेगा ना
Okay, let me talk. See, basically, this is for a small temperature. This is not very far. Okay, so for a small range, we can approximate it as a straight line. It will be some curve. Definitely, it will be some curve. It will never be a straight line. But since the difference is very small, you see 0.04, 0.05. Even if, let us say, okay, let me say that you have a curve. Okay, you have some curve. So for very small interval, can I not approximate this to be a straight line? That's what I'm doing here. That is not the best option, but that is the most convenient.
सर ये कंसिडरेशन तो करेक्ट है सर, क्योंकि हम ये एक स्मॉल इंटरवल के लिए तो हम सर ये सपोज कर सकते हैं, लेकिन सर हम पीवी इक्वल टू के तो नहीं कर सकते ना सर यहाँ पे सर, क्योंकि
PV is equal to see in this example I have mentioned PV is changing at constant temperature. So PV is equal to let me just check. So 0.0567 it should follow, but I have not tried something like this to 0.4. Okay, so this much 0.056796 0.056796 into 0.4. Okay, let me divide it by 0.5. This should ideally work. 0.040. We are getting some small change. You can see this should have given, okay, some maybe because of round of error. I will anyway check. This should be working because we are talking about a super. Okay, good. So one difference. Why do we need this? I'm very happy that you raised this point. So PV is equal to RT. That is true, right? But we have looked into ideal gas equation and other equations. So PV is equal to RT is true when? What is the basic assumption for that equation?
So the gas should be ideal.
तो आइडियल कैसे होगा इसके लिए सर?
So PV is equal to RT is for ideal gas. Now we have looked into the calculation that this is not the case. So I can confidently say that this is not an ideal gas. Okay, so when you are having table available, then please use that. Otherwise, if something is not there at all, then you may or may not, mostly you will not need to use ideal gas assumption, but for all real fluids, best is to use the table. Okay, so let us finish this example now. So again, as I mentioned, this could be a curve, but the simplest, easiest way to do is to assume a straight line. Okay, now let us take another example. Let us say that we have Rankine cycle, T3 and T3 are given, and steam leaves the turbine at 4 at saturated vapor. Okay, so the question says that find the work done on this turbine. So we have P3. P3 is this. P3 and T3 is given at 0.3. Okay, I should mention 3 here. So at 0.3, I know what is the pressure, I know what is the temperature. I need to find work done. So work done will be H3 minus H4, H at 3 at H at 4. These two enthalpy I need to find, I will find work. Okay, this should also be small. Let me just correct it. It will be small w, right? Specific. And I also need to find, I know that S3 is equal to S4. I am assuming ideal reversible process. So entropy remains constant for process 3 and 4. Okay, so if you look at superheated water table, so I wanted to look at what 3 megapascal, 350 degrees Celsius. I want to find H. So if you go to superheated water, 3 megapascal is one box, right? And what was the temperature? Anyone remembers? 3 megapascal and 350 degrees Celsius, right? So 3 megapascal, 350 degrees Celsius. This is the row I am looking at. So I need to find what is the enthalpy. So enthalpy is the third column. So third column here is 311.6.1 kilojoule kilogram. You can see this is the zoom out version. So Is this clear?
सर
Yes.
सर मेरा क्वेश्चन है कि सर जब हम रैंकिंग जो सर ये साइकिल है तो सर ये मेन मोटो होता है कि जो वर्क हो सर ये मैक्सिमम हो ना।
Yes.
तो सर ये अगर ये वर्क मैक्सिमम हो तो सर अगर ये ग्राफ को सर ये एक्सटेंड अगर थोड़ा ये ऊपर करते हैं तो सर ये इसको हम मतलब सर ये पता चल रहा है कि जो हीट गिवन है वो सिस्टम को सर वो तो मतलब सर वो कम ये होगा, लेकिन सर ये मतलब ये जनरली जो वर्क होगा वो सर बढ़ जाएगा, तो सर ये क्या नहीं कर
Okay.
सकते?
Let us do one thing. Let me finish this. This is the last example. After that, we'll discuss.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Let me first. I want to demonstrate how to look at tables. Then we can talk about Rankine cycle. Okay.
Yes.
So let me just finish this. I am almost done. So okay. So now you see what I'm doing. What sort of problem you will get and how to tackle that. So for this particular case, you are given condition. What is their condition at 3, and you're supposed to find work done. So how do I find work done? For work done, I need H. I need property at 3 and I need property at 4. So nothing is told about 4. I'm just giving you the value for at 3. So at 3, I will find what is H3 and I also find what is S. So now I will use the same S. This will be the same, right? So for this particular point at point 4, I know the S and I need to find H4. So can I find, or let me write it down. So this is what is given. So I can easily find what is H3. Now I need to find H4. So for H4, what is known for 4? For 4, I know two things. I know that 4 is at a, what is the condition here? What is the condition for 4?
3 megapascal and 350 degree.
No, 4 is not at 3 megapascal.
Saturated vapor.
Yes, so 4 is, I just know that 4 is a saturated vapor region. Okay, and I know what is the entropy at 4. So using this I can calculate what is H4. Is it possible? Yes or no? I don't know anything else. I just know the entropy. That's all. So if you go to Gibbs phase rule, okay, let me take you back. If you go to Gibbs phase rule, for water vapor, I need two properties, but for a saturated water, okay, for saturated water also there are, I need only one property because I know that this is lying on the saturation curve. Okay, let me go to, yeah, we have mentioned this in this slide. Sorry. To fix the state of saturated liquid, only one property is known. Only one property is required. So we have one property here, right? What is the property that we have? For this condition, what is the property that we have for 0.4?
Entropy.
Entropy, right? So entropy we have because it is equal to the same entropy of this. So we first find the entropy of 0.3. Okay, so if you look at this table closely, I know what is the H, I know what is the S. Now this entropy is equal to entropy at 4, which is this much. Now for state 4, I know that this is saturated vapor and this is the entropy of that. So I need to find what is the enthalpy for this particular entropy. So what I will do is I will go to saturated water table. I will look at entropy values. Now I will not look at temperature or pressure. I will look at entropy. I will see which entropy is matching this. Okay. So most of the cases you will not get an exact match, but you will get an upper and lower range. So I see that 6.745 is what I am looking for. I get 6.75, 6.73. So S4 is in between these two, right? And what is the pressure that it corresponds? So these values are for pressure 600 and 650. Okay, this is a saturated table, so this is what we should look for. Now S lies between this, so the pressure will lie between this. So pressure is between 600 and 650. So again you can interpolate. Now I need to find H. So H is H of saturated vapor. So I need to look into this column. So again, similar way, we know S, you can interpolate and get H. Okay, is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine, let me stop recording for this. Oh, I took more time than